Now, here we come to our capstone, we come to our keynote, we come to the acknowledging the person that was willing to say yes to God and bring us all together, and that is Frederica Wooten. She's going to be talking to us about emotion awareness and what is it really making me feel this way. So Frederica is the owner of Mentally Free PLLC, and she has over 15 years of experience in social services and community mental health. She's committed to walking alongside individuals on their journey to emotional and spiritual wellness. As a Christian faith-based mental health practice, Mentally Free PLLC provides compassionate, evidence-based care. Let me say that again. Evidence-based care rooted in the belief that healing involves the whole person, mind, body, and spirit. Grounded in both clinical expertise and a deep Christian faith, Frederica integrates biblical principles with therapeutic practices to support healing and restoration. As a counselor, speaker, and advocate, Frederica is dedicated to helping individuals move through pain toward joy, peace, and lasting wholeness. Come on, let us welcome the person that has brought us all together, the person that is allowing God to use her to help us all become mentally free. That is my niece, Frederica Wooten. Love you to life.
Oh my. Wow, thank you. Thank you so much for that beautiful introduction. I mean, you have been emceeing today. I mean, if ever there is an event and the Lord says the same, you will be the MC. Okay. So this has been an amazing experience. I'm just over here, like she said, I'm eating. I'm like, oh, it's my turn. I gotta go. I don't have to. It was great. But there is something that I have to say, and I have appreciated every voice that lended itself to this platform on today because how this was knit together, I could not have dreamed that it would have flowed the way that it did, the way that each speaker has spoken from their passion, spoken from their experience, and spoken from their skill set. I like that. I call her Ain't Friend, but Carla spoke about the evidence based. Each person is coming from their own experience that can be proven, that can be tested, that had facts and figures that you could go and look up. That we're not just out here saying things that we think sound good, those good sound bites or great social media quotes of two sentences that somebody has changed their whole life over two sentences on an Instagram post, but never you mind that. Here, you all chose to invest in yourselves. You chose to like, tag, and share and send it to other people so that they could also experience mental wellness from a clinical, evidence-based level. Just give yourselves a round of applause for showing up, baby. We at the end, okay? So y'all stayed, and those that couldn't stay all the way, your presence for however long was very much appreciated. Those that will watch the stream on later times, thank you so much for spending your time to grow, to build your capacity, to build your tolerance. And I want to come on and just kind of dunk whatever's left to go in the basket, right? Um, and share my perspective that I'm coming from on what is this thing called emotional wellness? Why do I need to know how I feel? What is keeping me from doing the things that I want to do? When I want to go right, I go left. When I want to go left, I go right. When I want to sleep, I'm up. When I'm up, I want to go to sleep. Like there seems to be this mismatch, misaligned experience that sometimes we have at different points of our in our lives. Is it always like that? No. And sometimes, because it's not always like that, we get stuck. We get stuck trying to figure out, well, it wasn't like that last year. 2 years ago, I didn't feel this. When I was a kid, I could do it, or when I had this, I could do it. And so we can start kind of walking in this guilt or shame and build beliefs around whatever it is that we just can't figure it out. So in that process of trying to figure it out, guess what is also going along with you? Your mental capacity is going with you. Your physical capacity is going along with you. Your financial state is going along with you. Everything that is connected to your socialization, your friends, your family, your home, you look around your room, you might be like, ooh, this is evidence that something is going on in me. The dishes, the stuff, we just leave the house alone. But all of these things are ways in which you can see how you are showing up in your experience, your lived experience today, right now. You don't need a book to tell you. You don't need a counselor to tell you. The counselor's job is not to tell you what you already know. The counselor's job is to help you explore what you already know to help it be in a way in which you can get to where you're trying to get to. We're not here to give you the answers. We're here to walk with you on a journey so that you can come into the awareness of the information. So I'm gonna take you back a little bit because when we were younger, how many of us were told not to do something and the reason why not to do it? All of us, because we got parents. Somebody told us, caregivers, teachers. But what you go out there and do? I'm gonna see for myself. It might not even be nothing big. They said don't eat that, it's too hot. You don't want that, that tastes nasty. That's medicine. I don't know. I'm gonna, put myself out there. I used to love chocolate as a kid, didn't know I was allergic till I was older, but that's a story for another day. But there was this medicine. We got Dr. Raven on here, so she can vouch for me. It was brown and it was called X-Lax. Y'all remember that? I thought that that was chocolate. You hear me? Because I knew in my brain that chocolate was brown, and it had chocolate on the paper somewhere. And mom said, "You don't want to eat that because that's not what you think it is." But I snuck and I ate it, and baby, guess who found out? So not everything that we think we want is good for us. We don't have the experience to know it. And if we don't go through that or let those voices in our lives speak the wisdom and just ask more questions, will tell me what makes it not a good, what makes it not chocolate, what makes it not good for me. Not why, what? We want to move away from the why because that can lead us into that blame, shame, guilt game and go into what, which is curiosity. So moving over here to where I'm really on the stage today is to talk about uh, what is really making us feel the way that we feel. Because we've heard from how to be resilient kids, we've heard how to walk through challenges, how to have the mind of Christ, how to settle in ourselves. We've heard about asking for help. We've heard how men can be supported and how women can be better supported. We've heard about the medication and why we should take it. We have heard about the path to be a better leader. And then we still sitting up here like, okay, that's great information. And it was. You should have took notes. I'm gonna go back and watch the replay because I was doing the back end stuff. But when we still hear all that, we were like, my body just don't want to go. Some of y'all I know had a no rose up in your spirit. You was like, I'm not doing that. I hear it. They said, go rest. Rest where? I got kids, I got work, I got bills, I got 2026 on my neck. It's gonna be February, and this stuff still undone in January. So, what we're gonna do is look at that. What is the reason why you literally can't do it? It's not a I want to and I just don't have the skills. It is a something within you. Your makeup is not letting you press forward. So here's where we're going to look at the way that you react, the way that you're acting, the way that you engage with something is not by accident. It did not come from nowhere. It didn't fall on your head and now you just, can't get right. It is something that actually you learned over time. There are patterns that were formed in real relationships under real pressure when your nervous system was doing its best to protect you. Yes, I said nervous system, a part of your body, a part of your lived experience. Your physiology is playing a major role in what you can and cannot do, literally. When we can see that it's something that is actually physiologically at play here, there can be a move away from shame into grace, into curiosity, into permission to move forward. And so that's the goal for today. Now, I'm evidence based, as Carla West said, so I'm going to let you know that I didn't make this up, that there are researchers, teachers, leaders in this, and one of those persons' names is Dr. Frank Anderson, and he shared some information that I'm also going to share in this today. Also, Dr. Richard Schwartz is the creator of Internal Family Systems that I'll be sharing today. Why am I getting this out in the beginning? Because I get passionate. Let me tell you, honey, I'm going to run. You think I'm running fast right now. So I'm getting it out in the beginning so I won't get no copyright infringement because this ain't all of my stuff. But so with that being said, the patterns that were formed in real relationships under real pressure when you was just trying to get through life. Okay, not everybody had a hard life. I get that. But the life that you did have still taught you something. We were all born into this world. We all lived every year and every day of every year we have lived, and that has brought experiences to us. We've all had to have at least one conversation in our life, whether it was sign language, whatever. You've had at least one conversation, whether it's with yourself or another person. Excuse me. We have had interactions, social interactions with other individuals. We have had to go through loss because one loss that I don't think many of us talk about or would frame it this way is every year you have lived, you've passed through one. You passed through the previous year to get to the year that you're in. And so there are things that could go with you, things that couldn't go with you. We think about the physical things, like, if you moved around a lot or something like that. But we also need to look at thoughts, beliefs, and experiences that we had that could not also go with us. If you are wondering why you keep doing the same thing, it's looking like Groundhog Day. And I'll leave the jokes alone because it's snowing in Texas. But anyway, that you want to know why you couldn't do it better or why this keeps happening to you. Well, this isn't a character flaw. It's a nervous system issue that got re-engaged over and over with the same data because it worked one time and it just repeated. It's just repeating that same cycle for each and every one of us. No one is exempt. The leader that leads well may have identified some of those weak points earlier on and changed them and created what? New patterns, new skills. They implemented them. So we're all operating on some kind of pattern and some kind of skill. So it's not character flaws that you're doing. You're in survival skills that have outlived their usefulness. So, when you were younger, you may have needed to go to the room because it was chaotic at your house, or you were an only child and you didn't have to speak a lot. And so you didn't. And now that doesn't work for you because you're in a society, you're an adult, and you need to speak up. You were you can't isolate yourself because you're in a society with other people and they want to see your face. They love you and you like, well, I just don't want to go. Do you not want to go? Is your nervous system having a reaction to being in the room or the thought of being in the room? So Healing isn't about trying harder. I just need to push through. I just need to go. I just, I just. No, it's not about that. It's about your nervous system working hard, and it's working so hard to try to keep you safe. Now, I'm not talking about you gonna get robbed at gunpoint. That's not the kind of safe. What we're talking about when I say safe in this context is you want your body to be at a state of equilibrium, homostasis, you know that word back in science, whatever that word is. You want your body internally and externally to be aligned, to have and experience peace, to have and experience joy that Dr. Raven talked about, to be able to experience resiliency that Corey talked about, and overcoming hard challenges that Julia talked about. And so your nervous system is constantly asking, am I safe right now? Constantly scanning the room right now. Am I safe? It's snowing outside. Am I safe? Texas not bit for the snow, but we're here. We're warm. We have what it is that we need. I went to the store early because baby, the people was out there. But I went early and I got some stuff. And so I'm able to, when that thought rises up, I'm able to give my nervous system information to help it calm down and say, okay, there's a plan. You've addressed that issue. When the answer is no, your body is that know that you're not safe, your body reacts before you think. So there is a unconscious experience that's happening around, or experience that's going on outside of your awareness with your body that's happening whether you know it or not. You don't initiate it, your body does. So let's say we talk about the horror movies. I don't watch them. I don't even watch scary commercials. I will change it. I will go into prayer. Baby, you're not finna get me. Okay. So if you hear that, I'm gonna date myself a little bit. That movie Jaws back in the day, that music, it was done, dun dun all the other ones. I don't remember the next part. But when that music came on, you got the little whatever's going on. You was like, oh, the shark is coming. Your gut started moving around. You ain't seen nothing. All you heard was that 1, 2 little beat, and you was ready to go. So your body was like, you didn't even know. So your nervous system, even though it was a movie, it's not able to determine that you're not in the movie about to get ate by the shark. It thinks you're finna get eaten too, and it's looking for information from you and from your environment to tell it otherwise. So let's give another thing. You snapping at people. You walk in the room, somebody say hello, hey, what you want? I don't care. You just hello, how are you? I mean, I'm human. It take me a while to dial up and dial down, and I'll tell you, I had a therapy day, and I don't have a lot of words. So I have checked in with my nervous system, with my body, and it has let me know it's not ready for certain levels of interaction. If I press it, it's gonna come out a certain kind of way, and then I will have to re-engage it. So logic, our ability to intellectually process does not stop these reactions. I can know full well that these people didn't have anything to do with my workday. But if you ask me how I'm doing, and I got to flip through 8 sessions that I had because I overbooked myself, this is not the question. It was a beautiful day. Well, tell me about it. I can't. So, or you're, thinking about we're coming up on the end of the month. You're thinking about what February will bring, what finances need to align, what chores and things that you need to do, or what health things that you need to engage in for the end of the year. Your deductibles have restarted over. Taxes, somebody said. You got some money that's got to come from somewhere to pay these things, and you're going to have not only a intellectual conversation but also a physiological conversation that's going to happen. So sometimes we try to shut down the conversation externally, but you cannot shut down the internal conversation. It's going to take you to some places, and we're going to talk about what those places are. So, we everybody has heard the word trauma by now, okay? So I'm not going to talk about it in the way in which everybody else has, possibly, but I'm going to try to highlight trauma in a different way. So, one, we're not broken. These ways that we're responsive are learned, they're automatic, and they happen faster than you can think or decide. They show up automatically, just like blinking. Nobody, if I say blink, everybody gonna be like, "What? I have eyelids." But if you just let yourself blink, you're not controlling it. Your breath, you're not controlling it. These are things that naturally happen. So you're not broken. You are overprotected. You're trying to keep yourself safe, keep you in an emotional state that is stable, one that you're used to. We'll come back to that in a minute. So let's look at some of these responses that we can have when we feel unsafe. So many of us have heard about the fight, flight, freeze. We're going to talk about that. And we're also going to add two more, submit and fawn. Okay. So in flight, flight looks like anger. It looks like control, irritability, and defensiveness. It looks like you getting some information in your system. Let's say somebody cuts you off on the freeway and your mouth gets to going. It looks like it looks like somebody stepped on your foot and you forgot you was a Christian for a second and you wanted to let them know that they can't step on your foot. Or you got a call from somebody asking you for money and you just had about had it with that person or that experience. And so the anger rose up. What's really happening here is that your nervous system is trying to stop harm. And I don't mean like somebody, Eddie Kruger, trying to stab you. What I mean is that emotional experience that you are having internally. What emotions got pulled up when that experience happened, or that stimuli came in through that experience. So what people often get wrong, according to Dr. Frank Anderson, is that fighting isn't saying that you're experiencing too much. Fighting is saying that your body is trying to protect itself. So when somebody is like going off or whatever, they're not saying this is too much, I'm overwhelmed, as much as they're saying I'm trying to stay alive. I'm trying to stay calm. And this is the only way I know how to get this back right. So if you got somebody in your life, they love to just pop off at the mouth, you be like, oh, they're dysregulated. Now you know how to use that word. They're trying to help themselves get back to safety. It ain't even about me. It's something in this environment that has happened to make them think, their nervous system think that they're not safe. So now we get to move to flight. Flight here is when something happens and we engage in like moving away. Now, one of the ways that this came up was flight can look like overworking, busying yourself, um, uh, trying to make things perfect. Like this is what and flight be like. Oh, I thought it was running away. You know, we didn't move past. We didn't upgraded from running away. You would run away as a kid. As an adult, you just stay busy, keep your head up under stuff, so you don't have to deal with whatever it is that you need to deal with because your nervous system is not regulated in that way to be able to let you tolerate it. So, what's really happening here is slowing down does not feel safe. So, you need to keep activity. You need to keep things going. You need to make sure that something's on the back burner that's about to move to the front. Somebody asks you what's going on, and you're just like, everything. I got a lot of projects. Tell me how you feel. Well, I got a lot going on. That ain't what I asked you. That's not what I asked you. So here, the product, what can be missed is that productivity uh, productivity can keep the person missing that pain is present. They're going on, well, I can do all this stuff. Yeah, you can. But what may be fueling you doing so many things is a covering up of like pain that you're experiencing. So freeze here, freeze can look like being stuck, numb, or overwhelmed and unable to act. So it's not like that you're not in the situation with the person. What is happening here is that there is again there's energy that came in from the experience, fear, rejection, hurt, shame, whatever. But that freeze actually is that energy is trapped in you. It can't get out. So you're holding it. You ever seen somebody that gets startled? They just that's what you look like in a freeze. You're holding it, like breathe, you can breathe and it finally comes out. But this is what happens. People are walking through their life in freeze. Neck tense, back tense, head, those. I tell people sometimes to put their two fingers together. I got all makeup, so I won't do it. And rub that spot, just push up in between their eyebrows, and you'll feel how much tension you're carrying. Another one is if you're not talking right now, I want to ask you where your tongue is positioned in your mouth. Just think about it. If your tongue is settled at the roof of your mouth, then your body is telling you it's holding some anxious or some kind of energy in it and it's not fully at rest. I want you to take an exhale and see if you were holding your stomach in. If there's not like you trying to, be, all snatched or whatever, but you're holding in that energy because you're bracing for something. Your body, this is that unconscious tape that's rolling right behind you. So when when you see someone who is kind of frozen, then what you now know is that they're not trying to do that. Their nervous system is holding energy in that moment, not knowing how to release it. So this is not laziness or peace. It's frozen. You're holding that emotion's energy. So, most of us are adults. We've lived a few years. How many things have you went through that you could still be holding? You might not be frozen because it's snow outside. You frozen because of that breakup, that job transition, that car note, that repossession, that task for the 15th time on your desk, having to tell somebody for the millionth time no, or whatever, or yes. You're holding that energy and you're moving through your life and it feels like it's like there's something trapped, like you just literally vibrating within yourself. That is literal. Emotions are energy. When you hold emotions, they don't have a chance to flow through you. Your body literally holds them, which is why many of us experience certain sicknesses. What is tension in your head? Hmm? Tension headache, anyone? What is shoulder pain? Tension in your shoulders. How did the tension get there? Energy in your body. When you look at constipation, constipation is you holding, clenching, not necessarily intentionally. Your body is holding on to something in a lot of cases. That's that energy, and it won't release it because it doesn't feel what? Safe to do so. So sometimes therapy or talking to a trained professional can help you in such a way that your skin starts glowing, your body starts moving, literally, you are able to, your hair starts growing, starts falling out. You're like, you know what, this is the best decision I ever made. Yes, because you're now letting it out. It needed an outlet. All the things need an outlet. So, who thought I'd be talking about poo on here? Nobody? That's what you get for thinking like that. But next, so we move to submit. Here with submit is looks like disassociation. And that's not you cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, right? Disassociation is that your mind, you're sitting in one space, but your mind is somewhere else. Like you're literally sitting here, but you thinking about what you're gonna do for dinner. You thinking about, when you gonna get into bed. You thinking about, Monday. Who finna worry about Monday with all this slow on the ground? Like, anyway. So Your mind can be in a different place than your physical body. Many people have said that they've been driving a car and don't remember how they got home, but they got home. What you're saying is you were engaged, your body was engaged in an activity, but your mind or your soul was attending to something else, likely trying to process something that still felt unresolved to what? Your nervous system. Intellectually, you know it happened 50 years ago. Emotionally, it happened today because it's still unresolved. So then we move it. So what's happening with submit? The body is trying to conserve energy when resistance feels impossible. You can't resist. There's no way around it. You don't got nothing else to do, so you just like, well, I guess I just gotta pay him $1,000 because I don't know. I'm not gonna go get a lawyer. I don't know what to do. I guess I just have to, let them cuss. Well, you ain't gonna let them cuss me out, but that person gets cussed out because they don't know what else to do because they're scared, or yes, they just gotta eat the cookies because they don't know what else they can do to help them soothe. They just want to feel better. It's easier than going to a therapist. Y'all do know that the first addiction is sugar, right? When the baby gets sugar, baby, that whole brain chemistry is never the same. Never ever. But anyway, we'll say that for a different day. Then we go over here to fawn. Fawn looks like people pleasing and overgiving and appeasing. It's like, yes, I'll do it. And you actually do it. But you're doing it because your nervous system cannot handle the no that you really want to give, or the distance or the separation. So you find yourself saying yes when you probably should say no. You find yourself showing up at places to save face because you can't tolerate and haven't built up capacity to stand your own ground as yourself. You you regulate yourself through helping other people be regulated, or so you think they are. So your yes gives you safety because that person is no longer a threat to you in your mind, because now you gave them something that they wanted. But you stressed. You ain't relaxed. You ain't pooped in 6 months because your body is holding on onto all the stuff that it don't know how to let go of. So, uh, so, so fawning is more of a relational strategy layered on top of other responses. So the flight, fight, freeze, submit, you can have fun in there anywhere. So fun is more relational. Relationship either with yourself or the relationship with or to someone or something else. So here, again, this is not personality traits. This is not how you made. You not just a kind person. You nice. And this difference between nice and kind. Nice says, let me go along to get along because I don't want to make no waves. Kind says, I don't like that, but I respect you. Thank you for asking me. No, still. So there's a difference between kind and nice. There's a difference between personality and a nervous system that is dysregulated. Notice I'm not saying traumatized because traumas has taken on a whole nother word. We can talk about it individually, but in a Blix platform, it's better to just talk about what is the experience that you're having in your physiology. So, uh, why one response takes over another, right? So you want to be able to say to the other person, no, I don't want to go. No, I don't want to do that. But you find yourself saying, yes, what time? Or what should I wear? You're like, you practice your no. But when you get on the phone, you hear the person's voice, you be like, sure, I'll be there. With a smile, you're like, I can't believe I said yes. And now you driving guilty and mad. You frozen, right? You got all that energy, you can't move. You get in there and now you fighting for your life because you didn't want to do whatever it was that you signed up for because your mouth said yes, but your nervous system said no. Okay. So you learn this through repetition. You didn't just learn this today. You learned this likely between the ages of 0 to 3. So what would that mean? What were you doing at age 0? What just put it in the chat? What was some stuff you was doing at zero from 0 to 3? What were you learning? Where were you going? Who was taking you where you went? How did they talk to you when you got there? Were you welcomed? Did they like you? Do you like them? Was fear a part of your experience? When you were hungry, did they feed you? When you cried, did they change you? Did you have to hold how was your attention held by them? Did they give you face to face time, right? And your answers are going to determine if you are more prone to any one of these four types of responses to emotional pain. If people came, or you had to cry, cry, cry to get people to come, you might be over fighting for your life again. If you cried and they never came, you might freeze. They not coming. I might as well just, you know, or submit. You might just be around your people or whoever raised you, and you start doing what they're doing because you're three. What else you gonna do? If they're loud, if you're observing interactions between people in your household and they are going off on each other, what are you internalizing? Pain. You're internalizing pain. So your nervous system picked up pain before you did, before your awareness of emotional pain was even there. So let me speed up because I can tell you I'm passionate and I have spent my time. But so what we need to do here is look at that our nervous system needs to heal, but it needs to heal through learning to become more flexible. It isn't that you have to always say no or always say yes. It is that sometimes you may need to stand your ground, and other times you can relax it. And you can explore other ideas and ways to think through things. You can pause without shutting down. I think Corey spoke about that. You can pause, and pause can be okay. You can talk with yourself to say, all right, I can slow this down. I can take another look at this. I can see what approach may be helpful for me. And when I do that, then this helps me. I can stay present with myself without losing me. I can stay present in the moment without having to transform and become a different version of myself. Who are you anyway? Where did you come from? Why your voice changed? Have you ever heard somebody they just turn to a new person when they get stressed? I'm like, who is this? So being able to be yourself in all the spaces and ways in which you show up in your life. So healing does not mean getting rid of those other responses because they're automatic, they're natural. What healing means is flexibility. Healing means you have more than one option to go to. Your nervous system knows that it can do more than that one thing. It doesn't have to always people please. It can ask questions. It can say no. It can stay present. It doesn't have to always run. It can hear the person out. It can say, now it's not the time. I don't have the literal capacity in my nervous system to hear you. So, insight alone is not enough. Knowing is not enough. You're going to have to do something to help your body heal, to help your body offload that energy that it is holding, to relearn your nervous system, relearn different ways to show up in the same environment. So if there's conflict going on, a lot of people are like, I don't like conflict. No, you don't have the tolerance for conflict. It ain't about like. Your nervous system cannot tolerate it. You don't know you don't like it. You knew you didn't like it. 0 to 3. That's when you figured out. So you have to unlearn those types of things and relearn other ways to engage. You cannot force calm on yourself. You cannot force yourself by saying, be calm, be calm. Have you ever done that? It don't work. You're going to force yourself into a panic attack. So what you can actually do is get curious. Ask yourself, what am I thinking about? What bothers me about this? What would I like to do now? Where would I like to go and be? Can I leave this room? Where would I go to feel safe? What is my nervous system telling me? Where do I feel this in my body? And put your hand there. If you have a chest, where we hold, chest is usually where we hold grief, deep pain, sadness. Put your hand there and say, I feel that. I'm noticing that within me. And I give that permission to lessen, because now that I have acknowledged it, I will come back to it. Come back and sit with it. Get your journal out. So what you are doing is you are creating safety within your own self, for yourself. You live there. You have a soul in the body. If I have more time, I'll go into it. You live in your body, but your body is also having experience too. And your body needs to hear from you. It needs to feel safe with you and in you. If it doesn't, it's gonna act out every single time. Every single clock it. I'll just be watching. I'm like 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then it just explodes, right? So your nervous system is asking you to show up for you, to create that safe place, having that internal conversation. It is okay to talk to yourself. It is okay to talk with yourself. If the conversation gets distorted, that's when you come talk to me. And then we can look at that. So only only the one your body, you are the only one that your body believed would keep you alive. You. And if yourself doesn't feel safe with you, then it don't think you're gonna keep you alive, and it's gonna be scratching for life, for its life every time, because it doesn't trust you yet. But as you slow down, as you start asking yourself those curious questions, to engage in building relationship with yourself, then your trust with self will increase. Your nervous system will reset. That's been a word for today. And you will overcome those things that are bothering you. So I thank you all for hearing me out today. I know we probably went into some areas that you did not anticipate, but they were all helpful, I hope. So